going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings. It is Saturday, July the 5th, and there are a few things to talk about. Just before we do get into that, the Leeds Creator Cup is happening July 20th, John Charles Arena. All of your favourite Leeds United content creators, and maybe some of your least favourite, including this guy, are going to be there. So make sure you get yourself down there. John Charles Arena, July 20th. It is going to be popping off. You don't want to miss it. But before we get into the creator stuff and all of that jazz, let's talk about the main club, the Leeds United, the Mighty Whites of Yorkshire. And there are a few things for us to dabble into today. So let's not waste any more of your time. Let's get straight into the meat of the action. And the first story are surrounding some youth players. That is right. Leeds United have been getting their knuckles down in the dirt, giving contracts to some younger players, including James DeBayo, Colin Bird, and Harvey Vincent. The YEP understands DeBayo is yet to sign those terms, with hope inside the club they can secure his long-term services. But speaking of long-term services, we need some first-team players for this Premier League campaign. We've been rumoured to have 100 million to spend, and we're yet to really dip our toes massively into the transfer market. Now, one player that we could be moving for, that we are monitoring, is a former Man United player, ironically, Mr. Eric Bailly, who has had a lot of experience within European football, as well as, of course, the Premier League. Leeds United are said to be monitoring Eric Bailly. The former Manchester United player has become a free agent. He left Man United, of course, a couple of years ago. He obviously signed for them back in 2016 for £30 million and is a very, very, very experienced defender and could be one of those acquisitions that goes a little bit under the radar. I think he is actually very, very quality. He's got good physical capabilities. And if we are kind of adhering to PSR rules, a free agent move of this caliber is one that I would be a little bit more excited about. Sports Boom now reports that the player is eyeing a Premier League return with Everton. They cite sources stating that Bailly would be welcome to a Premier League move. Leeds are also monitoring his next move. The Whites, though, have already signed two central defenders, but I wouldn't be complaining at Eric Bailly coming in, especially after the departure of Max Vober the other day. I think this could be a very, very good one. I don't think we need to spend too much on a central defender. We are going to be talking about that a little bit more because obviously we do have a lot of players that can fill in that position, including Ethan Ampadu, who a lot of people have been talking about. Where is his place going to be in the side? He can play both in midfield and centre-back. So I think we've got enough cover, and this is one that I would be monitoring very, very highly. I think he would suit Daniel Farke's philosophy and playing style down to a T. Now, speaking of players that would suit Leeds United down to a T, it is, of course, the Brazilian maestro from Fulham, the number 9 that has got all of our lips craving. And it isn't just Leeds United in for him, of course, because Tottenham Hotspur have also been coming big for him. Now, there was a reported £30 million bid for Leeds United for Rodrigo Manise. We were speaking about him heavily the other day. Tottenham Hotspur not only are snaking us out with Manor Solomon, but also are coming in for Rodrigo Manise, with Mr. Thomas Frank being very keen on the move. Now, they have had a reported £32 million bid also rejected, and Leeds United are supposedly coming in with another monstrous bid. Now, if we have 100 million to spend, there are reports that apparently the 49ers actually have a little bit more than that to spend if we want to dip our toes very heavily into the market. And I think this would be just a perfect option for Leeds, man. He's growing, he's developing, his stats in the Premier League are improving year on year, and he is proven within the division. If we could get this done, it would be an absolute coup. And I know that he is a very expensive player. They want £50 million for him, and they do not want to budge. Marco Silva said, listen, he is not for sale unless if someone triggers that £50 million move. But it is one that keeps on ticking. And if you're talking about signing Kristovic for £25 million, who isn't too keen on moving to the Premier League, it all seems, I feel like this is a move to get done. Even if we spend £45 million on him, I think a number 10 and a number 9 is where we need to be putting our most expensive assets into, because our midfield is pretty stacked as it is. If we could bring in an Anton Stach for £15 million, I do genuinely believe that we've got enough in that midfield. I think Tanaka can make the step up superbly. I think Ethan Ampadu, with his previous Premier League experience and his development that he can grow forward into, he's played in European football, he's played in the Bundesliga, he's played in the Premier League. I think he could develop very well. And the midfield we have covered, in my opinion, with one or two more signings. And the striker, Rodrigo Manise, is one to keep your eyes out on. But let me know what you guys think. Would you be happy if Leeds United spent within 40 to 50 million pounds for Rodrigo Manise? Is that something you think is too hefty? I really want to get your guys' opinions on this one, because I'm someone who really wants to splash the cash heavily on that number 9 and number 10 area, in my opinion. Do you think 50 million pounds is too much? For me, 40 million pounds, 45 million pounds, I would not be mad at that deal. Obviously, it's an outside shot, it's unlikely, but it's one that I would love to see happen. Now, speaking of other moves that people might like to see happen, Leeds United miss out on a target that we have been monitoring ever so slightly in Michael Keane. And the way they're reporting this is that Leeds United have been done out by our old boy Angus Kinnear as he signs from Everton to Everton. He has signed a contract extension, so if anyone was excited about that, that is not one that Leeds United are going to be moving in for. But as we said, Eric Bailly is definitely a better option, in my opinion. Now, there are other reports around Beto, the £30 million hitman, who has definitely improved his output under David Moyes compared to what he was producing under Sean Dyche before. They spent around £20 million on him. There's a reported £30 million valuation for him. Again, a good move. Premier League proven, but a real outside shot, in my opinion. I don't see this one really having too much legs to it as things move. But one that does have a little bit more legs to it that Leeds could be going in for is the aforementioned central defensive position. Now, who are Leeds United in for? It is defender Nathan from, of course, Real Betis, and Estadio Deportivo are reporting that Leeds United are moving in for him. The Brazilian was only on loan from Napoli last season, but became a permanent signing this summer. The outlet then go on to claim that Leeds, Lazio, and two other undisclosed clubs have expressed interest in signing him. They also state that the La Liga side would have rejected an offer of €27 million for his services, but it is unclear as to who bid that amount. But with Junior Firpo going over there, I know he's a free agent now, but could it be a potential sweetener in the negotiation deals? Maybe Firpo can get in his ear, give him a few kind words, tell him about the beauty of Leeds United. But €27 million, £30 million, it seems like a very pricey one. And as I stated before, I don't think we need to be spending that much on a central defender, considering we only have 100 and 150 million around that ballpark to spend, and we're not going to be recouping that much in terms of how much transfer valuation we sell players for. So it's one to keep an eye out on for. And I want to know what you guys think. How much money would you invest into the central defensive areas? I think we're pretty well stocked there, and we just need a cheaper player to supplement that with a bit of experience. But let me know what you guys think about that one down below. And then there is one last story surrounding the Premier League transfers today, and this one is going to spark a little bit of conversation that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And it is, according to Sky Sports, that Kyle Walker has completed his medical on Friday and is expected to move for around the region of £5 million over to Burnley. And this is what is getting frustrating for me. I know right back position isn't necessarily an area that Leeds United are too in need for. I think Jayden Bogle has been outstanding this year, has proven in his stints in the Premier League that he can compete there. But £5 million for Kyle Walker, what a signing that would have been. Premier League experience. He can play in centre-half as well. We've seen that. He can feature in a back three for both England and Manchester City. He would be really great to have around in the dressing room. Why that's a name Leeds United haven't been toying around with the idea for, I don't know. Maybe because we weren't offering him the same amount of first-team football that Burnley were. That's pretty much the main thing I can look at. But when you look at these other sides getting these shrewd deals done, and you see Leeds Mickey Mousing about with some of these unproven commodities, it does make you scratch your head as to why Leeds aren't in for these kind of players, aren't in for the caliber of players of a Kyle Walker, who I think would be a fantastic signing for Leeds United. And as I stated before, I am starting to get a little bit antsy at the lack of manoeuvres and movement from Leeds, but I hope this week coming up can be a big week for Leeds United. And I know there isn't too much news to surround Leeds United with today. A few exciting stories circulating around, Rodrigo Manise and Eric Bailly being the key ones, but I would just like Leeds to move in for these things. Now, what are your feelings on this? Do you think Kyle Walker is someone that you would have liked Leeds to be looking at? Is it someone you don't think Leeds really need? As I said, £5 million, I think that would have been an absolute steal. But Leeds United, as I said, should be going for cheaper defenders and more expensive attackers, because I think we do have that defensive structure relatively in place for the Premier League. But let me know what you guys think about all of these stories down below. As I said also at the beginning of the video, the Leeds United Creator Cup Clash is coming to you very soon, within 2 weeks and 1 day, July 20th. Make sure you are there. Get your tickets in. Get yourself in there. It is going to be an absolute blast. I can't wait to see some of you guys down there. It's going to be an absolute pleasure going to the parade when we got promoted and seeing all of you guys there. Wow. I mean, I never really spoke about it on video, but it's such a pleasure. Anyone that I spoke to or came up to was so kind, so genuine, and you really made my day. Just seeing you all there and interacting with you guys in person. It was such a phenomenal experience, and I can't speak highly of it enough. But let me know what you guys think about all of these stories down in the comment section down below. Let me know if you're coming to the Creator Clash as well. I would love to speak to you there. But for now, I will see you very soon. Au revoir, my brothers and my sisters.